Hello, welcome. So today we're going to be taking a look at r/Am I Overreacting? But first, guess what we're on for subscribers? We have hit 1,000. Yay, we did it! Anyway, if you would like to pick apart whether people are overreacting to their situations today with me, then please do stick around and enjoy. And don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Thank you. Okay, first one, posted by I or maybe 3, I'm not sure, Pattern 2380, and the title is, Am I Overreacting? Boyfriend tugs it to his friends. Okay, starting off strong today, I see. My boyfriend admits to tugging it to girls he used to hook up with. Girls he calls his platonic friends through their Instagram VSCO. I don't know what that is. The first text he told me it happened once and then eventually became, I've been doing this throughout dating you the entire time. He is 26. I've been going actually batshit crazy, going through his phone, asking a million questions and crashing out on how he could do this. We've dated for 2 years. Honestly, this is just giving me like flashbacks to when I was with this guy for a long time, like 6 years. And I'd say it was probably like towards the end of the relationship. And more than likely, probably part of the reason the relationship came to an end, I found out that he had this secret folder on his phone, and he told me this one day when he'd been drinking or whatever. He had this secret folder on his phone that was full of dirty images that women had sent him just over the years, so there was a lot. And it just really creeped me out. For one, like, why are you keeping all of that? Like, that's really creepy. 2, that feels like it should be illegal. I'm sure if someone has sent it to someone, then they can't really tell them they can't keep it. But I feel they should be able to. That's so creepy. And not only that, he was in a relationship with me. Why did he still have those? Honestly, ugh, so creepy, so gross, so weird. Anyway, let's have a look at the message. So of course it'll be grey for the boyfriend or ex-boyfriend, I am hoping, and then it is blue for the OP. I want to say that the last time I did that was when we were talking before dating, and I knew it was wrong and was disgusted with myself and never wanted to tell you or anyone, and I know I was wrong. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you or the way you look in any way whatsoever. I think you are beautiful and pretty and sexy, and I've been attracted to you since the moment I watched you walk into blank, and I'm more attracted to you now. I love you and know you. I've done a ton of things that I regret and I know were wrong, and I dig a bigger hole trying to keep them from you, and I know I can do better and be better and not do those things and tell you to your face I do fuck up. I don't deserve another chance at it, and I truly do understand it if you don't want to come, but I would be grateful if you found a way to keep trying. You make me so happy. You've given me so much joy and things I've never had from anyone in my life, and you've shown me love that I've never had before, and however this goes, I'll always be in debt to you for that. I can't express how sorry I am that I effed everything up. Do you know what? The thing about this is, right, I get that people are gonna want a bit of special alone time sometimes, be it man or woman, okay? And I understand that some people who like to have that special alone time, they're gonna look at like porn or something. However, the part of this that I feel is just gross and unforgivable for me, if it's me and it was my partner, is that he's doing it to pictures of his like ex hookups. That's really icky and really gross. And it just says to me, and it would say to me, oh, so you're not over them then? Or you are still attracted to them? It'd make you feel a little insecure. It'd make anyone feel insecure. And that's the part that I don't like about this, is the fact that he is doing it to people that he knows Especially ex-hookups, ex-girlfriends, whatever, however he wants to put it. You know, that's the bit that I think is gross and creepy. So the OP then says, I know you've done this while we have been dating. I've known about it for months, so there is no point continuing to lie. I honestly could not sit on that for months without saying something. Honestly. I'd go on it, and if I felt that I wanted to, I'd go to porn that I didn't. And you deserve better than me, and that has nothing to do with you not being enough. My mum just asked me if you were coming up for New Year's. And then the OP just says, that's a lie. Imagine that. Imagine having this serious conversation about a violation to the relationship and then be like, my mum wants to know if you're coming over for New Year's. Like, dude, can we stay on topic, please? And then the OP says, that's a lie. I would do what I said mostly, which is still a bad thing to do sometimes. I wouldn't, which admitting to you makes me want to legit die in a hole. My head is I don't know why I do it. I disgust. Gonna assume they say I disgust myself because it's cut off at the end then. And then we have, I would go on Instagram and see a post or a story of someone I hooked up with in the past and go to the account from there. I would go to their VSCO from there, or I would look up their Instagram or look up their VSCO. I have had VSCO since high school and would go from the Insta link into the app. I would go on streaks of doing it once a week to not doing it for a few months, and any frequency between there. I would watch porn closely. After a while, VSCO made it so that you needed an account, so I had one tied to a BS email. See, it's not just that he's been a little bit randy and he's come across a photo and he's gone, oh, do you know, I'm a bit in the mood now. That photo's got me going. He's literally going out of his way to seek these pictures out of these people, specifically as well, remember, again, exes, like actually exes. That's like, you can't say this isn't creepy. You can't even say that this is just him getting a bit excited as he's passing through. No, he's literally making fake emails so he can sign up to then find these people's pictures to do it to. Insta and VSCO were the two apps I used for it. I hid it by deleting Insta search or the VSCO app. So he's also hiding it, so he also knows he's doing something wrong. For a while I would go to the Insta page and not use VSCO. Then I started going into the VSCO again. Say VSCO again, Void. I swear to God. I've done it since I started hooking up with people in high school. It would be people I talked to or kissed or flirted with or danced with. That's so weird. So odd. Like, yeah, I mean, that would honestly put me off someone immediately, because I would feel like, where is the boundaries? Where is the respect? You're doing this with your exes. You're purposefully making fake accounts to find the pictures of them and find their profiles. This is more than just scrolling through, seeing a photo that got you going and, you know, oopsie daisy. Like, this is more than just that. This is a little creepy, I must say. I'd love to know what your opinions are on this. To me, it comes off as creepy. Let me know what you think. So then, down in the comments, Blue Beams quotes the OP and says, I've been going actually back crazy, going through his phone, asking a million questions and crashing out on how he could do this. This is no way to live, sis. If you have to do this with your partner, is the relationship really worth being in? Why stay with someone you obviously can't trust? Yep. And then Raikeen says, yep, and just to add, no one has to be wrong or right for you to end things. Live your best life. You only get one. Yeah, exactly. Like I say, if someone wants to have a little bit of self-pleasing time, who are we to judge? But the fact that he's going out of his way to find ex-girlfriend's posts is what makes it not right and creepy. Okay then, so next post, Repulsive Distance 13 says, am I overreacting? My mum left my 5-year-old child unattended. Ish. My mum typically sees my kid twice a year, was in charge of my daughter, 5, while I was on a work Zoom. I was upstairs locked in a bedroom. About an hour into the call, my daughter is crying, knocking, begging for me to open the door. I ignored, assuming my mum would handle it, but eventually it didn't stop, so I opened the door and, video off and mute, asked my daughter where her grandma was. My daughter said she didn't know and that she had left. My mum just walked out of the door and drove away to run an errand without a word, assuming that my daughter would 1, not leave the house, and 2, I would open the door. My mum was gone for 1 hour. I did confront her when she finally came home, and she essentially gaslit me, telling me she was sorry I was scared, but she knew my daughter wouldn't have left my door. After, I told my dad, who I've always had a good relationship with, that my mum was negligent, and I basically didn't want to see them again for a long time. Why punish your dad? What did your dad do? She was honestly not a great mum, and I have a lot of resentment towards her, so I need a gut check. Am I overreacting, or am I right to basically never want her alone with my child again? Now, I completely agree on she was wrong to leave the kid on their own in the house, and that should not have happened, because at the end of the day, the only other adult in the house was preoccupied on a phone call for work in a locked room, was under the impression that someone was watching the kid, so would not have been themselves listening out or watching the kid. And that child, I'm assuming the mum didn't lock the door by the sounds of it, because obviously the door was mentioned twice. I'm assuming the mum didn't lock the front door. What if that kid had wandered out the front door and wandered into the road, or wandered outside and been picked up by some weirdo? It's not good, is it? It's not good. So I understand OP being mad at the mum. I also find it weird her saying she was not a good mum, and saying she was a negligent mum, but then getting her to look after her kid. Probably not a good move. If your mum was negligent when you were a child, probably not a good move. But, I suppose some people, they just think my parents are gonna do the right thing. They're my parents. I don't understand why the dad is catching strays, because she said the dad was a good dad. Can the dad not still come over? Why can dad not come? I don't get that one. Anyway, down in the comment, DThere's715 says, if she was a bad mum, what makes you think she'd be a good babysitter or grandparent? It's what I want to know, I must say. And then OP says, point taken. I've always wanted me, my husband, or my dad around with my child and her. And then Ladybug966 says, not overreacting. Never again leave your child in the care of your mother. What part of she was in your care did mum not understand? But who cares? At least you were there. Your mum might have taken the child with her and then just left her in the parking lot for an hour. My mum used to do that with us all the time. She'd go off into the shops or something, or she'd go off to go to work for an hour, because obviously she worked kind of doing some freelancey stuff for a bit. So she'd be an hour and a half in here, 2 hours in there, and she'd just leave me in the car. Sometimes I'd have my siblings with me, sometimes not. It's a very weird situation, my childhood. We didn't all live together, me and my siblings. We got split between both of the parents, basically. And I stayed with my dad, but then my mum would work. When I would go over, sometimes it'd just be me. My elder sister would be out doing something, so it would just be me. My younger sister would not come sometimes. And yeah, she'd just leave me in the car. So what I'd do is I'd get underneath this old picnic blanket that was in the back of the car and just hide under there until she got back. The amount of times I fell asleep under there, but it was so boring. Oh my God, so boring. Anyway, that was a tangent. Back to the post. There are some things you shouldn't have to explain. What it means to be responsible for a child is one of them. If the person doesn't understand this, they are not a safe babysitter. Ever. I am glad this child is safe. Now it is up to you to keep her that way. And then the OP says, thank you. This makes me feel less crazy. I do have bad memories of my mum leaving us alone in the Dodge Caravan in parking lots while running errands, and freaking out and panicking as a child, running into the store with snot dripping down when I thought she was gone too long. So you kind of hit the nail on the head. Yeah, I mean, top and tail of it is don't let her babysit again, but also maybe don't take it out on dad. I don't know. But then again, is there an argument for, well, dad let her be a negligent mother and dad stood back and let that happen? I don't know. Next post, posted by AdvancedDuck9393. Am I overreacting? Annoying thing wife does. I want to start by saying this thing she does is not a huge deal. It's just irritating to me in the moment. I don't express the irritation to her. It's on my mind. It happens a lot, and I figured I'd see if I was just being dumb about it. She has this habit of asking me a question and not accepting my answer. This leads to her asking the same question literally like 17 times before I end up saying, I don't know, Google it then, and leaving the situation. Are you sure it's okay? Are you sure that's the issue? Over and over again. It happened yesterday twice. First was about her car. She has ADHD, other issues, and worries a lot about everything. The car is making a noise. In her mind, the engine is about to explode and she's gonna die in a fiery crash. That would be something I'd be thinking too, I'm not gonna lie. It's been to the point where she refuses to drive if she thinks something is wrong. I'm not a certified mechanic, but I've worked with vehicles since I was a kid. I've always fixed our cars. She asked me about a humming noise that happens when she gets above like 30 miles per hour. I explained how it's likely her front wheel that is nearly worn down to the guts and needs to be changed. She absolutely refused that answer and swears that it must be the engine, because it only happens when she's going over about 30. It's not, and I know it's not. I ran the car on my diagnostic. It's the bad wheel she keeps forgetting to replace. Possibly a bad bearing, but I need to pull the wheel and look. Later on, we were cooking dinner and we made some pork chops that we had marinated over like 5 days. We had forgot about them, but they were still fine. I'm an experienced cook also. I grew up in a family-owned restaurant. Her question this time was whether or not the pork chops were still good to eat. I told her yes, because they had only been in the fridge for less than a week and they were in a marinade that had quite a bit of vinegar in it. Vinegar is a preservative, so it's going to prolong the life of the meat at least a little bit. They were completely fine. They had no bad smell, no mold, nothing. The kids and I ate them and they were bussin', might I add. We're fine. Honestly, I can't blame her for not wanting to eat the pork if it's been marinating for 5 days. I am so funny when it comes to pork. Pork's one of those meats you do not mess around with. The food poisoning you can get from pork and, like all sorts of like parasites and stuff if it's not cooked properly or if it's left too long. Ugh, no, is not worth the risk. I told her this, and again, she absolutely refused to accept my answer. She ended up not eating dinner because she didn't believe me, I guess. Like, why even ask me these questions about things that I'm obviously familiar with if you're not going to accept my answer? I mean, because she has issues with worrying a lot, you said yourself. I do understand the wife, I really do. I can get a little bit, when my anxiety is really bad, I can get in these headspaces where my anxiety is just trying to convince me that, the most terrible thing is going to happen. And I feel like I need constant reassurance, which is probably a good thing that I don't have a partner, because instead I have to just constantly find ways to reassure myself. So I do get that. On the flip side, I understand why that would be really irritating for someone, and I don't think the OP is in the wrong for feeling irritated by that. I completely get that too. I feel this is one for therapy. I really do. I feel that the OP's wife would really probably get a lot out of therapy. And maybe the OP can go along with her a few times just to sort of say, look, these are the things that I'm noticing, the issues that I'm noticing, and what I would like for us to work on, because I feel exhausted by it, I feel irritated by it, but I know it's not her fault kind of thing. And play it that way, maybe. Supportive style. Like I said, I usually end up telling her to find somebody else to deal with whatever the issue is, because I just end up getting irritated with it. Then she gets mad because I'm not trying to help. I'm sorry, but this is insufferable behaviour that I'll just remove myself from. So, am I overreacting, or is she being overbearing about it? Like I say, if the OP's trying to do all this stuff, like doing diagnostics and what have you with the car on his machine to be like, look, it's right there, it's fine. And she's still going, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? I understand how it's distressing for both of them, to be fair. So like I say, I do think a good bit of therapy could really help here. So, down in the comments, Cass the dumbass says, if she's ADHD, she likely needs the facts. Show her the facts. And then the OP says, I mean, running the car on my diagnostic is showing her the facts. There's no engine codes. It's not the engine. Not sure what I can do about the food, though. She thinks anything that's not either eaten or frozen right away is bad. Okay, last post for the day, posted by Confident Truly. Am I overreacting for telling off a guy at my gym? I'm 20F, this guy is 37M. So, I go to the gym with my friend's mum mostly every day. She is my gym buddy. She has this little group of like 6, including me, and we all huddle up outside of the gym after it closes, and we just talk and hang out for 15 minutes, then head home. Keep in mind that these people are much older than me. I never really say much because I don't know what to talk about, but this guy in the group has become absolutely insufferable. He told my friend's mum that he had had a crush on me. We thought he liked her because she's more his age. Turns out it was me the whole time he had a crush on. Ever since he told her, he started making weird sexual remarks, ew, like saying it's not fair that my friend's mum gets to see me naked in the sauna. I literally wear clothes in the sauna, but whatever. Anyways, I just told him off. He overstepped. Asking someone for my number without my permission was overall creepy to me. The rest of the people in the group, one of the guys, said I was overreacting and saying he's still a kid, he doesn't know any better, and it just made me upset. If he is a kid at 37, what am I? A child? Yeah, he is not a kid. At 37, he should know better, and those were really gross remarks. It's caused a rift in the group, but I could honestly care less. I'm not going to ask the people to side with me if they don't think he's weird for chasing after me in a stalking way, then it's on them. So we have the OP in blue and the gym guy in grey. Hey, who's this? A guy from your gym that's been too shy to talk to you in person, so I thought I'd text instead. How did you get my number? Who gave you my number? It's Gym Guy. I got your number from blank. Not to be rude, but I don't feel comfortable that my personal details are being shared from a worker in the gym. A worker in the gym gave your number out? Oh, surely that goes against some rules, like client privacy rules or something. Oh, no, I asked blank for your number. He didn't just give it me. Oh, no, because that makes it so much better. Okay, so is something up? Why couldn't you just talk to me? I don't know how to explain what I want to say right now. And then the OP just sends a bunch of question marks. You never pay me any attention, and you've rejected me multiple times when I hint at you, like when I asked you for Snapchat. Mate, then take the hint. They're not interested. I don't even use Snapchat, but was willing to use it for you. When I wanted to show you my Instagram and you didn't even bother to look, it looked like there was no chance in even getting at you. I stay at the gym later than I need to because I know you're coming and I want to stay and talk. Make sure you get in your car safely. None of these things I do makes you notice me. I don't know anymore. That is when you take the hint. That is when you take the hint. Like, seriously. It couldn't be more clearer. So, not even being rude, but it gets to a point. You are 37 years old from what I've been told. I am a young 20-year-old girl who could honestly be your daughter. I have absolutely nothing in common with you whatsoever. I never asked you to do any of that. I was hoping all the times I'd turn you down it would make you stop. You've made multiple sex jokes towards me in front of our whole group that made me feel so uncomfortable to the point I went to another location to work out. You now have gone to a worker at the gym to get my number, which is weird on both ends. Yes, it is. Please leave me alone. You have made me and other people in the group uncomfortable because you're constantly coming on to me and telling the guys that I'm giving you mixed signals. I asked you to spot me once, and that was because my friend wasn't with me. The fact you took things the wrong way is not my fault. That's crazy. This isn't the person I'm used to speaking to. I honestly thought things would go so differently with me and you, but now I see you don't have a resting bitch face. You are a bitch. Oh, goodness me. I'm never doing anything nice for you ever again. You asked me to spot you. You laughed at my jokes. You never once told me to stop. You clearly have a victim complex and think every guy wants you. I literally would uncomfortably laugh and turn you down, and I've never even spoke to you one-on-one, bud. I think you're delusional. You're 37 years old. You blank didn't even know I was 20 because you still thought, I was in high school when you first saw me. Ew, and he was still trying to come on to her, and he thought she was in high school. Oh, well, that's even worse. Ugh. You are weird. You're a grown man acting like a 16-year-old. I have no desire to have any contact with you. I'll even stop showing up to the group after I work out. Just leave me alone. You really shouldn't have to do that, but I understand why you would choose to do that, honestly. But yeah. I mean, the fact that the OP said, oh, I'll stop giving you mixed signals. I'm not being funny. They really weren't. Asking someone to spot you is not giving them mixed signals. And especially when you've been very blatant in turning them down every time they've tried to get a outside of the gym communication path with you. And you've been like, no, thank you. Like, what more can you do at that point? Honestly, I completely forgot to save any comments for this one. So, yeah, you'll have my commentary instead. This dude is acting creepy. It's plain and simple. The OP has been very obvious in telling them, no, I'm not interested. No, I'm not giving you Snapchat. No. He's been making very disgusting remarks. And then the fact that we now find out he thought she was still in high school whilst making these disgusting remarks. Abhorrent. In the bin. I honestly would change gyms if it was me. I'd be like, yeah, no, thank you. This is creeping me out too much. And also, make a complaint about that worker at the gym giving him, her number. That's what I would be doing. That is a massive breach of client confidentiality. Goodness me. Okay, so I think that's all we've got time for today. If you made it all the way to the end with me, then I appreciate you very, very much. If you give a little like, subscribe, notifications on, that is your initiation into the Covenant Void. Welcome. Don't forget to leave your offering of a comment for Big Al. What can you tell me today? Tell me your favourite series on, like, I don't know, Netflix or something. Your favourite series, like, what is just really good? I have been watching, and see, I've never been into, like, period dramas or anything like that. I really struggle, actually, to concentrate on anything. I don't watch films, really, because I struggle to concentrate for that much time. But I've been watching Bridgerton, and I stopped halfway through watching season 2, watched the Queen Charlotte one, and I finished that within 2 days. And then I've just started picking it back up again because my friend was like, no, you need to watch the Queen Charlotte one before you go any further because it'll make a lot of things make a lot more sense. So I've done that. And now I'm back on to Bridgerton. So yeah, and I'm actually quite into it, to be fair. And normally, like I say, period dramas are not my thing. I think I like how it's all very sort of like, there's some real tongue-in-cheek moments. It's not all just serious. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, let me know what series, I'm not sure if that's a word. What have you been enjoying on the telly box? Anyway, whatever it is you're doing for the day, I hope you have a really good rest of the day. Goodbye!